All right, folks. Welcome back to Oh Hey, Can You See? My podcast where we're going to be talking about real life people and their real life stories and their experiences, and how a lot of us out here do have someone whom can relate to an experience or experiences that we've had, multiple ones even. Experiences that have kept us from being able to live our best lives, to have to keep surviving. And last episode, or first episode, we talked about last episode, this is only second episode. Our first episode, we talked about what is abundance. Now, I didn't really go into a whole lot about abundance. I just really kind of spoke from my experience, my point of view and perspective, just hoping that it resonates with some people out there. The lovely, wonderful thing about the modern age and this little thing we call scrolling is that if there's something that is not resonating with you or just like not vibing with you at all, you can continue to move on. And we all have free will. We have consent, even though we're not allowed to use it, or we've been made to think that we're not allowed to use it, but we all have consent, right? And today, this morning, whenever you're hearing this, our subject is going to be the current anti-trans and highly offensive things that I'm noticing happening across the United States. Now, I'm going to preface this with this. I will never speak for an entire community. I'm not even going to sit here and speak for the entire trans, especially not for the entire trans community. And I'm definitely not going to speak for the trans woman community as a whole. But I will tell you my experience as a trans woman, 222 on the clock, and how that has greatly affected me and helped me become the person that I am today, who is quite abundant, very happy, and actually I have a future, and my story is very important because we're in a time now where I'm watching history literally repeat itself for the who knows how many time, and how many civil rights movements have we had, and yet here we have people out here attacking trans people out in public. Do y'all remember when Black Lives Matter came up? Why that all started, and why the big resurgence of black civil rights came up, and why people were having a protest in the street again, and women were having to protest in the street again, and gay people, queer people were having a protest in the street again. Anyone who was not naturally born in this country at some point probably had to protest because they weren't able to receive citizenship that they were promised when they came here. So the fact is that we're sitting here watching it happen, and nobody's going to do anything about it. We're just going to let it happen. Everybody wants to throw around this word ally, but I see very few online and in the real world. Now, in my immediate circle, like people around me, oh yeah, I have so many allies. Why? Because those are the people that I know support me as a trans person. It's like we're very aware of who really supports us and who doesn't. For a lot of us out there that haven't come out as trans yet, it's because we haven't been given a safe space to come out. So we're hiding away. It's very well known. Trans people hide themselves. Y'all get mad about it. Y'all say we were liars, we betrayed you, we lied about who we were. No, we had to hide who we were because it was unsafe to be our true, authentic selves. We're not allowed to be effeminate. We're not allowed to wear girl colors or play with dolls or do any of these things. Instead, we're forced into societies and stereotypical norms for something that we are not interested in. We're bored, we flunk out of school, we get into trouble, we get on drugs, we become homeless, we become promiscuous. All these things y'all hold against us because we're not allowed to be who we're allowed to be our whole lives, and we're bullied for it and treated like we're less than. This is a general experience that most queer people face, and yet we still have the strength to come forward and to come out, which is why coming out is such an important and relevant moment, because that's when you say, like, I'm not going to keep people pleasing, I'm not going to keep living this lie for the benefit of other people. So if someone's experiencing this, how could you have any issue with who they love? How could you have any issue with us wanting to have children? How could you have any issue with us being able to perform any kind of surgery we would like to on our own bodies? You know, it's not cosmetic. It's very much life-saving. I can speak from my experience as a trans woman who has been doing hormone replacement therapy for 1.5 years, that people I have witnessed, people who have seen me in my glow up, literal glow up, that's what they say. You're glowing. Oh my gosh, you look so happy. Oh my gosh. It's just, being trans, I feel like it's really important. You don't seek external validation, but when you start receiving it just naturally because you're living in who you are and making decisions for who you are and who you're going to be for the rest of your life, you know, it's like people still treat it like it's a phase, like it's not real, like we don't exist. How can you have an issue with people that are being treated like they don't exist and say that you're a good person? Or that you have values that align with values that would be considered honest and just and good values. But you have a problem with people actually existing. Which is the same way people have felt for every single other civil rights movement. Why didn't they just go back to where they came from? Why didn't they just this? Like, it's amazing to me how in 2023 we're sitting here actually having live conversations telling trans people who they are, what they are, how they're gonna live, how they're going to just accept certain things, and then we're supposed to just like not be frustrated and get to the point where sometimes we get a little testy and a little reactive. But we're not allowed to react because then we're being hysterical and we're being emotional. Wonder what that sounds like, women of color, like minorities across the board. This is all happening to us, and people are just going to sit by and argue about whether or not trans women are women, or whether or not trans women are trying to replace bio women. How would that ever happen? I can't have children, y'all. Having hormone replacement therapy means that I am not able to have children. Not able, ever. And it was a decision that I made as a conscious adult who was consenting to do what I needed to do to continue to want to live in this world. People are unaliving themselves, and y'all are writing bills that say that we can't even have meds that help us live. They're not optional. Not everyone takes them. Not everyone has to. We can accept that athletes will shoot testosterone up to get better at sports, but we can't accept somebody injecting it so that they can have a body that they feel comfortable in. I know all of this is resonant. Like, this got to be hitting Like, this has to be coming through that mind, and if it's not coming through the mind, then that means that you're willfully ignorant and that you really are just do not care. That you don't care about human beings that are in pain and suffering and have been for thousands of years. And didn't just crawl up out of the ooze yesterday like some mutants. So it's very interesting to me that anyone even remotely thinks that trans women are trying to replace biological women. We would have no population of Earth. We would have no humans anymore. It makes no sense to me that people actually think that this is real. I guess it's easier to just smile and show compassion and to show love, because I have already spent my entire childhood into my adolescence, into my early 20s, and into my mid-20s. It wasn't until I got into my late 20s, early 30s, before I even started to think that I had a right to even exist. And for the last 11 years, I've been working on becoming the person that I am today. That is very much loved, and is very much adored, and is very much seen for the heart that I have, and for the voice that I have, and for the story that is inside. And I will say to anyone out there who thinks that trans people are literally just going to disappear, we're not. We're not. Half you listening to this probably never even met a trans person. Meet a trans person. Put yourself in situations. If you see one, you should definitely go up and tell them you appreciate them for existing. Because I guarantee you they're going to really, really, really need to hear it. Yeah. It's bewildering to me. I'm actually kind of speechless. Like, I've kind of lost my whole vibe to even do this right now, because it's really that bothersome. Like, people really out here think that we're trying, and I'm just telling, like, y'all telling us who we are? That's wild. That's wild. Alright, y'all. 1313. I'm out of here. Still working some late nights right now, but I really felt called to come on here and make an episode about some of my perspective on being trans. This one's a little more testy than, I was hoping, but it's okay, because it's human. And look, if you're struggling, just know that there are those of us out there, and anyone that would like to come be on the podcast and talk about your experience, please email me at haleycomet44@gmail.com. That's HAELICOMET44@gmail.com. And we will schedule a session and get you on the podcast. But I'm excited. Everybody, have a safe holiday if it's coming up. And we'll talk soon. Bye!